Greetings, Internet viewers. It's me, the amazing Flec, and thank you for joining me for another one of my walk-in talks. If you're new to this channel, I'm currently on break during a 16-hour shift using the treadmill in the basement. I promised myself and my viewers that I'd be posting a video every single day of this year, and for a 16-hour shift, you have to make the use of the time when you have it. So here we are. Well, today I think I wanted to bring up and talk about something that I love very, very much. It's called Go. Go is an ancient Asian strategy game. I say ancient because its roots can go back to several thousand BC. You might have seen the game played in a movie at some point. If you've seen the movie A Beautiful Mind or the movie Pi, that black and white psychological thriller, then you're probably familiar with the game. If you're not familiar with the game, often people compare it to Othello because there's black and white stones that get placed on a grid, or they compare it to chess because it has a lot to do with strategy. Sometimes people confuse a Go board with a Pente board. They're very, very similar in the fact that they have 19 by 19 lines. Go is played on a 19 by 19 grid and has black and white stones that get placed back and forth on one stone a turn. You play the stones on the intersections. When the stones hit the board, they do not leave the board, they stay on the board. And stones of the same color attach to make groups. Go is about surrounding empty space. Placing stones on the board to form groups to surround empty space, while at the same time avoid getting surrounded by your opponent's stones and your opponent's groups. Once the pieces are on the board, they don't move unless they are removed from the board. There's no like checkers or chess where you move the pieces around. Once a stone is played, the stone is played. At the end of the game, each player gets 1 point for each empty space they've captured, as well as each one of their opponent's pieces they managed to remove from the board. I think I first started playing Go around the year 2000 or so. Like right after I watched the movie Pi, I thought it was a really, really neat looking game, and I thought that I'd give it a try. So when I first learned the rules, I thought, oh, this is so simple, I'll be really good at this game. It's one of those things when you learn the rules are so simple, I have an idea already how I'd win. Why is this game considered to be so complex and so sophisticated? Well, I think that was most definitely a perfect example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, in full effect on me. I think I was like 17 or 18 when I first started playing Go. I think I knew a lot more when I was 17 or 18, or at least I thought that I knew a lot more when I was 17 or 18 than I do now. Anyways, I thought that I'd be an amazing Go player and that I'd just be able to maybe be a prodigy at it or something like that. And that was far from the truth. I was really struggling to learn the strategy. The rules are easy, but the strategy just gets more and more complex. Every time you figure out a solution to a problem, you get a couple other problems that come out of it. And it just keeps branching off like that. So I think in 1992, computers managed to solve checkers. Just the game where you move pieces and you jump over and king me and all that stuff. As far as game theory goes, checkers is pretty simple. So we were able to wrap that up in 1992. And I think in 1996, computers managed to more or less solve chess. Chess is a lot more complicated. You have many different movements for a lot of the back row pieces, and you have some more variables for the front row pieces, and just different dynamics altogether, and how the pieces can move from the board. And there's a lot more possibilities in a possibility tree on what outcomes could potentially happen in a game of chess, as opposed to a game of checkers. So that was a matter of solving the game using some algorithms, mathematics, and computer programming. Maybe that was more or less the beginning of artificial intelligence, was solving these games using game theory and programming and finding a way to express it in the programming language. So Go was a lot more difficult to figure that one out. I think it was 2016 or 17. Google was involved and DeepMind was involved, and then there was AlphaGo, which was a version of this artificial intelligence that was pitted against some of the world's top professional players. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. So in Go, there's actual professional players. People who play get sponsored by Samsung, Sony, Mitsubishi, all that sort of thing. And they play these games against each other, and whoever wins gets large amounts of cash for being the winner. And then people who get the top 10 or the top 50 or top 100 also get cash prizes too. And these prizes are enough to make a living off of. So if you're a good enough Go player, you can be a professional Go player. So you have a small amount of people who are really, really skilled at playing Go. And of these people, there's a ranking system. So when you achieve a higher rank, you are more or less able to beat the person below you, one rank below you, most of the time. So as a result of that rank difference, you end up playing the second move, and they get the first move, which is kind of an advantage. If they have the first move on the board, they have more influence than you. And if you keep beating them consistently, you start giving them an extra 2 stones on the board. So they get a stone in each corner of the board, and if you keep beating them, they get another stone. These stones are called handicapped stones. So every time you consistently beat someone 4 or 5 times in a row, you give them another stone. It makes the game a little more enjoyable for both players, so one player isn't always just winning and the other player isn't always losing. They try to make it balanced out like that. So it's more of a challenge for people who are more experienced in the game playing against beginners. And it's also a really good way for beginners to learn how to use their stones in a better way while playing Go. Anyways, these artificial intelligences made by Google, and these artificial intelligence programs made by Google and DeepMind and AlphaGo, they were able to beat a very, very prestigious player. Their name is Lisa Dahl, and they were playing against AlphaGo when AlphaGo had a big, massive improvement in 2017 in Seoul, a city in Korea. And the whole world was watching. This was probably the biggest, most hyped up event in Go history, in modern history, or even as far as back as we know, because this was broadcasted on the internet, various television networks, a bunch of media were there, because it wasn't just about Go. This was about artificial intelligence making a gigantic leap in solving something that was considered unsolvable. So we solved checkers in 92, we solved chess in 96. We didn't successfully solve Go yet, but in 2017 we managed to get this program that could beat Lisa Dahl in 4 out of 5 games, which is a huge deal. It was amazing that Lisa Dahl even pulled off a win against this machine. It threw him so many curveballs. Lee didn't see these moves coming, and eventually Lee found this perfect move that was able to trick the computer. The move he played, I think, had a 1 in 10,000 chance probability of being played. So the computer didn't even recognize looking at that possibility. Because in Go, there are so many different possibilities that for the computer to look ahead so many moves, just to look ahead 3 or 4 different moves, you have to take account that there's 361 points on the Go board. Those are all possibilities. So it has to look at each one of those possibilities and then look at all the subsequent possibilities and all the consequences and all the subsequent possibilities of that move and all the consequences. So just looking ahead 3 or 4 moves creates this huge possibility tree, which is very, very difficult for computers to calculate. But it's not so bad for humans, at least in some circumstances, because humans, we rely on intuition and hunches and gut feelings and instincts. And through trial and error and experience, humans can just have a knack for playing a move on the Go board because it feels right. Or they have experience playing out certain sequences so they know what's going to happen. Or at least they think they know what's going to happen. Computers can take something in the game of Go that we as humans take for granted as the right move to play, and they'll play something completely different that doesn't look good, but ends up being a really smart move or a genius move. So yeah, that happened in 2017, and since then, the artificial intelligence has only gotten stronger. So people cannot beat computers anymore when it comes to Go. If anything, people are playing against computers, the professionals, the top-level professionals, are playing against computers in order to figure out how to become stronger against their inhuman opponents. So they're learning from the machines now. Pretty fascinating stuff. If you don't know how the game Go is played, then a lot of this just sounds like hogwash or blah, 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 or just it's Greek to you, right? It doesn't mean anything. But if you learn how to play Go and you try playing a couple games, you can probably start appreciating what I'm getting at here. Go isn't a game for people who do not like losing. If losing in a game really upsets you, I don't recommend you play Go at all, because there's a proverb in Go. It says, lose your first 100 games as soon as possible. Because that's the only way you learn how to play better Go is by losing. In fact, I think that's the only way you really get better at anything is by failing at it until you figure out how to not fail at it. I'm really glad that I spent as much time as I have playing Go and learning how to play Go, because it did teach me some lessons about failure. That every failure isn't necessarily something to be ashamed of. It's something that you can embrace and you can learn from and move forward and do it better next time. So I absolutely love playing Go. I haven't been playing much of it at all lately. A lot of my time has been taken up making videos and learning new technology for music production, sound and video editing, and making my studio space, and trying to keep up on my juggling and my circus arts and stuff like that. Fortunately, this channel has given me a lot of opportunity to be able to keep up with all that stuff because I have to come up with these instructional videos every Sunday. I still have a lot of ideas on what I can do about different videos, especially with just contact juggling alone. If you're new to this channel and you haven't turned away from this video so far, thanks for watching. I'd like to let you know that every Sunday I do in fact release an instructional video that teaches you how to do various circus and flow arts. So if you're interested in some sort of prop manipulation, whether it's contact juggling or spinning things on your finger, using staffs to spin them around, or poi, spinning balls and chains around your body. I'll be releasing a video teaching the basics, just entry-level stuff. So if it's something that you've been interested in wanting to learn how to do, but you haven't really taken those first steps, I'd love to show you how to do it. Break it down nice and easy, and just get the beginning, the basics, the fundamentals down. From the fundamentals, you can build on those and do more and more complex, more amazing tricks as you go forward. So every Sunday, please check out my playlist section here on my channel so you can find out what my circus and flow arts videos are. And my playlists also organize my videos in all of these other ways. I post a lot. I post every day, in fact. And it's a mixed bag. You don't know what you're going to get. I don't know what you're going to get either. Kind of like a vlog style thing, but I try to do some sort of themed talk for you. Because I know there's not a lot of people who are just interested in what some stranger is doing in his everyday life who's walking on a treadmill. Here I am. And I'm sure not a lot of people are actively interested in Go, but I thought I'd share something with you that I'm very passionate about. And if you are interested in learning how to play Go, you can always look it up online. It's just spelled G-O, Go. Ancient Asian strategy game. If you like math, you like logic, and if you like puzzles, and you like thinking ahead, and you like calculating, and you like strategy in general, this is a really good game to consider picking up. I'm absolutely in love with the game. I know I'll play it until the day I die. If you're interested in playing Go, one of the best ways to get started is by playing online. There's Kaido Go Server, or KGS Go Server, and that's the largest English-speaking Go server in the world. It's a great place to get started. You can play with people who are also relatively new at the game, or lower-ranking players that'd be more than happy to show you the ropes and how to play. And one of the advantages of playing on a computer is that you can go forward and backwards and review your game a lot faster than pulling pieces off the board. Another advantage is that no one can accidentally bump the board and knock all the pieces around. And another advantage is that you can only play legal moves, because the computer will stop you from playing a move that you cannot play. So that way you don't argue with another new player about what's a good move and what's a bad move. And it also calculates the amount of points you have at the end of the game. It makes the game a lot easier to understand and learn if you play it on a computer first. Although I do love playing on a board in front of another human being. It's safer to play online these days with the state of affairs all around us, right? So if you're interested in jumping on KGS, you can always look me up. My name is Xynosis, that's Xynosis, and I'm a 2K on that server, which pretty much means I'm a 2Q. I'm a brown belt. I'm a brown belt in Go. So if you want to go around and go with me, I'm a brown belt. I'm almost a black belt. I've never quite been a Dan level player. So the ranking system, it starts like, you think of it like this, like negative 10 is 10Q. If you get really good and you start beating everyone at 10K, you become a 9K. And if you beat everyone at 9K, you become an 8K, meaning you'll give the people at 10K 2 stones, because there's 2 ranks difference. They start the game with 2 extra stones. Then you get really good at that, you get to a 7 and a 6. So I've worked my way up from negative 30 to 2, and then if I keep beating people who are 2K, I'll become a 1K. And then if I keep beating people who are 1K, I'll become a 1D, which is Dan. So K means Q, which means fighter, and then 1D or Dan means master. So I'll achieve mastery status sometime, hopefully in the next couple of years, if I keep playing and leveling up. But as I said earlier, I've been so busy learning all this new video stuff, I haven't had much time for Go. But who knows, maybe I can get some games in here and there more often. I kind of miss the game, and it's probably why I decided to bring it up on this video here today. Alright everyone, I talked your ear off long enough. Thank you very much for those hardcore ones that actually watch this stuff all the way to the end. I appreciate it very much. So from the Amazing Flec here on a mobile Monday, walking on a treadmill during a 16-hour shift at work, I'd like to remind you all to keep safe, be well, stay humble,